Drake London was a lot of people's favorite breakout candidate at wide receiver for us in fantasy football. After suffering under Arthur Smith and receiving passes from the likes of Marcus Mariota, Desmond Ritter, Taylor Heineke, we saw two projected quarterback upgrades for him with Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix Jr. We also saw a projected coaching upgrade with Zach Robinson, the former passing game coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams, coming in as the OC for the Falcons. Now, how did that translate? In week one, we didn't see the production that we were all looking for. In week two, it was definitely a step up. And this week, it was another step up from week two. And so things are trending in the right direction, but they're definitely not where we would like them to be as of yet. In this video, we're going to take a look at his profile, look at his metrics, take a look at his production through 3 weeks, take a look at his snap share, rush share, and target share from weeks 1 to 3, and then break down what we saw from him on film in week 3 on Sunday Night Football. Drake London is 6'4", 213 pounds. He possesses 33-inch arms, and he was selected 8th overall in the 2022 NFL Draft as the first wide receiver off the board. He was a very young prospect, and so despite going into his third season, he's only 23 years and 1 month old, so very, very young. He's well before the general age apex of 26 for wide receiver production. So what we're seeing from him so far should not be anywhere remotely close to his peak as a wide receiver for us. That's specifically useful for us dynasty players, but for redraft purposes, we still, in the future, should see even more production from him as he continues to blossom. When we look at his athletic metrics here, he didn't run anything more than a 40-yard dash at the combine. He didn't need to. His 8th overall draft capital suggests that for sure. However, he ran a 4.54 40-yard dash, which is 53rd percentile in and of itself, so slightly above average, nothing too special, but when you contextualize that with him being 6'4", 213 pounds, that gives him a 104.4 speed score, which is 83rd percentile. That is very, very good. That's height and weight adjusted speed. When we take a look at his production through 3 weeks, well, in his first game, he only had 3 targets, which was confusing for sure, and he finished with 2 receptions for 15 yards, so definitely not what we were expecting from him. In week 2, he definitely took a step up in production. He went from 3 targets to 7, 2 receptions to 6, 15 yards to 54, and no touchdowns to 1 touchdown. Now, the targets are fine, the receptions are pretty good. 54 yards does leave a little bit to be desired, but he did score a touchdown. In week 3, he did finish with a season-high 9 targets, so we do like that. He still had 6 receptions, which is pretty solid. He only had 67 receiving yards, so while that is good that he's gone from 15 to 54 to 67, we still are expecting a lot more from him because he is a very good wide receiver. However, he did end up scoring a touchdown once again, so that's 2 touchdowns in 3 games. That's pretty good. Part of what I think is contributing to the lack of high-end receiving yardage totals is that it's a new offense and a new quarterback as well, so it just sometimes takes a little bit for them to start acting cohesively and producing the total stat lines that we would really like to see from somebody as good as Drake London. When we take a look at the receiving stat lines from week 3 for the Falcons, Drake London finished 2nd in catches with 6, 1st in receiving yardage with 67. He did receive the only touchdown of the night from Kirk Cousins, and he did finish with a team-high 9 targets. That's what we were expecting from Drake London in terms of him leading the room in total targets and receiving yardage. We would also expect, in general, for him to finish 1st or 2nd in total receptions. Darnell Mooney from time to time is going to lead the team in receptions, but still, it is encouraging to see that, at least compared to the other players on this offense, he did receive a massive amount of usage. When we take a look at the snap percentages from week to week, he's an every down player for the most part. In week 1, he had 100% of the snaps, in week 2, 97%, and last night he had 100% as well. He's not really a threat in the run game, which is why he hasn't received any rushes so far this season, but there is a chance from time to time they're going to give him an end around, who knows, but that's not really his game. He's just more of an X wide receiver. When we take a look at his target share, this is what is really encouraging. In week 1, it was a measly 13.04%. Yuck. He is your number 1 wide receiver. That needs to be way higher. In week 2, he had 24.13%. That's better, but Preferably, it would be a lot higher than that. Well, last night he had a 33.33% target share. That is what we were expecting. This is the Rams offense. In the past, we've seen with Cooper Kupp and even Puka Nacua last season when Kupp was out, that the number one wide receiver in a Rams offense is going to be heavily targeted. Some of the Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua target share percentages could have to do with Matt Stafford's preferences as a quarterback. We have seen that throughout his career, he's locked on to the likes of Calvin Johnson, Kenny Galladay, Golden Tate. But scheme is definitely a factor in the target share that we've seen from Rams offenses in the past. And I think that is going to continue this season with the Rams offense being imported into the Atlanta Falcons building. All right, so Drake London is in the slot on the bottom of your screen. What the Falcons are doing here is running a fake screen to Bijan Robinson and having Drake London run a wheel route up the sideline. As you can see, it was quite successful against the Chiefs defenders here. This is part of the scheming upgrade. In an Arthur Smith offense, we are never going to see this kind of creativity, but this is the Rams scheme. And so while from a route running perspective, there isn't anything too incredible here from Drake London, it worked, and to his credit, he caught the ball. Free and easy touchdown. Awesome to see. With this next play, Drake London is at the top of your screen. He's running a 9 route. He gets really a clean release off the line of scrimmage. Now, he does get held there. You'll see that his right arm was being grabbed by the defender. It was after the ball was released, so should have been pass interference. The refs missed it, though. As to the pass, it was a little bit out of his reach, even if he wasn't held. Kirk Cousins was under a decent amount of pressure, but Kirk, you got to deliver the ball a little bit better than that. And that's 25, 30 yards that was missed because of an inaccurate throw caused by pressure by the Chiefs defense. All right, so on this play, it's not a target to Drake London. Kirk Cousins gets hit as he's throwing the ball, and it gets intercepted by the Chiefs defender. What I like on the play here is Drake London's effort to try to tackle the defender. Some players you'll notice on offense after a pick will just stand there. They don't want to get hurt. Drake London isn't afraid. He tries to help his team out by at least getting the defender down on the ground before he can get too much yardage after the interception. And so while it's not going to show up on the stat sheet, it's a nice effort play from Drake London, and I really like to see that from him on film. On this play, Drake London's at the top of your screen. He's running a 10-yard dig. The Chiefs are in zone coverage. Now, he does get a good amount of separation, and so I like that. What I like in terms of his route running here is when he starts off his route, he runs directly forward right into the cornerback's space to get him to back off a little bit before cutting directly inwards right around the 8 to 9 yard mark before getting open right around the first down marker. You'll see that Kirk Cousins does try to fit the ball in there, but he ends up just pump faking it because he does see the lurking linebacker underneath. And so while this didn't end up being a target or a completion, I like what I see from him from his route running, and he was open, and the separation was pretty good. If you like what you're seeing so far, please feel free to like and subscribe. It's a free and easy way to support the channel, and it lets me know that you want to see more player breakdowns like these. I love making these videos, breaking down player profiles, their snap, rush, and target shares, how they're utilized on the field, and breaking down what we see from them on film, so that we can get a better look and analyze how players are performing beyond baseline counting stats. So yeah, please feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you. Here we have Drake London on the bottom of your screen in the slot. The wide receiver on the outside goes in motion before heading upwards to create space for London underneath. Drake London is running a little bit of a slow, kind of delayed out route. It's supposed to be timed up perfectly for Kirk Cousins to hit him underneath after the space is created by the outside wide receiver heading upfield. To Kirk Cousins' credit, he's being pressured, and he delivers a nice ball to London here. As far as London's concerned, I like that as soon as he catches it, he tucks inwards and tries to get as much yardage as possible. I like that he fights through contact. One thing I would like to see is a little bit better ball security. It is a nice play by the second defender there to get the ball loose. And to London's credit, he does come down with it, so it's not a lost fumble, and it is a first down. You just got to be careful with the ball because defenders are always going to be trying to punch the ball out. On this play, Drake London is in the slot at the bottom of your screen. He's matched up one-on-one with Chiefs safety Justin Reed in man coverage. That's a mismatch. There are hardly any safeties in the NFL that can contend with Drake London in man coverage. As far as the play is concerned, that was Kirk Cousins' first read. He knew before the play started that's where he was going with the ball. He knows that's a mismatch. As far as Drake London's route running is concerned, I like the rocker step that he hits Justin Reed with before he cuts inwards on the slant route, and I like that he holds onto the ball through contact. It's a really nice play. Here we have a 4th and 5. It's a must-have situation with the Chiefs up by 5. On the play, Drake London is in the slot just to the right of the right tackle. He's in one-on-one coverage. I understand that Kirk Cousins is being pressured. The Chiefs bring the house, but man, you have to throw it up to where at least Drake London has a chance. If you throw it low, he has no chance, and in fact, it's a much better chance of being intercepted here. And so the quarterback play was hit or miss tonight from Kirk Cousins. He really doesn't do well under pressure, it seems. And yeah, Drake London, there was nothing he was going to be able to do on this play. Just before that, Kyle Pitts was also interfered with, and so there were a couple plays here that if you're the Falcons, you would really like to have back, but as far as Drake London's concerned, if the ball had been up to where only he was going to be able to get it, I feel pretty confident he would have probably hauled it in. Drake London on this play is at the bottom of your screen. They put him in motion. What it does is it gets the Chiefs to back off and gives him off coverage, and so he's running a curl route here. What I really like from him is that after he gets the ball, he wastes no time. He gets directly upfield to try to get this first down. And he fights through contact and able to get, about 12 yards. And it's a must-have situation with them down by 5 with a little bit over 2 minutes left. And so I like what I see from Drake London here. He brings a lot of physicality to this offense. This play might be the most impressive that I've seen from Drake London tonight. It's a must-have situation, a little bit over a minute left, 2nd and 12. Drake London's at the top of your screen in the slot. He's running an in route. The issue is the defender that's guarding him has inside leverage. That is the worst situation imaginable for him getting open. But to his credit, he boxes out the defender. He does have a basketball background, so I think that helps him out here. He snags the ball, fights off a tackle. He almost breaks a second one, and he does end up getting about 11 yards. He's, around a yard short of the first down. But it's a wonderful display of his grit and toughness. He once again brings a good level of physicality to this offense that otherwise does seem to be lacking in that regard. In summation, Drake London is the alpha in the receiving corps for the Atlanta Falcons. While he generally has the profile of an X wide receiver, being 6'4", 213 pounds, as you've seen throughout the film, he can be used anywhere on the field. They used him a lot in the slot to create mismatches. He gets good separation. He can run a full route tree. He can be used vertically or horizontally. He has vice grips for hands. He fights through contact, and he brings a level of physicality that really none of the players on this offense in the receiving corps besides him bring to the Falcons. While the season started out a little bit slow, I don't think we've seen anything near the heights of what we're going to see from Drake London this season and in the future. It's tough to expect a new offensive scheme with a new quarterback to immediately gel and reap the best results. And so I would definitely, while we haven't really been disappointed the last 2 weeks because he ended up scoring a touchdown, I would definitely expect much better days ahead for Drake London and really this entire Falcons offense. I think that Kyle Pitts is going to get going, and I think that Bijan Robinson is going to produce more for us in fantasy football. But what do you think? Were you impressed with what you saw from Drake London on film here? Was there something that you think that he needs to work on? Let me know below in the comments section and let me know why. With that being said, if you like these player breakdowns and you want to see more content like this, please feel free to like and subscribe. It's an easy way to support the channel. Thank you and have a good day.